Hey guys, welcome back to the studio. If you're new here, my name is Leah and I'm a full-time collage artist. I'm finally on week 6 of the artist way, which means I'm halfway. I'm very excited about that I've stuck to it and that it's really changing my life. This week hit me in a way that I never could have expected, to the point that I decided to extend my week to 2 weeks. And what's more abundant than taking abundance of abundance? In this chapter, it talks about the luxuries of life, and they're not talking about these things like going on a yacht or a crazy trip across the world. They're talking about the tiny luxuries of everyday life, and I fell in love with this concept. It's the small things we do for ourselves that make life a little sweeter. The book has an example of a woman who buys herself an extra pack of raspberries during the week and uses these in different meals. Since she loves raspberries, this brings a little bit more joy to the table every single time. And I really loved this idea that luxuries don't have to be big things. One of the activities is to make your own list, and once I started, the list was getting very long and it sounded like my own version of these are a few of my favorite things in the musical, The Sound of Music. I was debating making this video a musical one where I did all the things that I really like. I think the concept behind this list is to feel excited to live, the small things of everyday life that are exciting, and this is something that I can really get behind and honestly do already very frequently. But now that I had a list, I was ready to dive in. Waking up when my body is ready rather than doing it with an alarm. When things are moving a little bit slower, I like to curl up on the couch and do my work from there. To spend hours at a gallery on my own pace, checking out every single thing that I can see. Being anonymous in a large city. Sorting through papers without the idea that I need to create something. Sitting in a park and reading. Being around animals. Ordering in a type of food that I can't really make as well myself. Using the cat as an excuse to not get up right away. Having a good conversation with a stranger unexpectedly. My one-on-one time with friends. The feeling of pride after doing a workout I didn't want to do. Having a home-cooked meal. Buying myself flowers. Tidying the home. Trying something new. Long walks in cool places. Using a good pen to write. Putting on a candle. Shopping with no intent to buy. Long, restful sleeps. And I guess I'll stop there before I bore you. So now that you've heard my not so little list, I hope that you're able to also make your own and try to indulge in some of these things over the next few weeks. So I wanted to read you one of the passages in this chapter that really stuck with me. Those of us, like many artists, who are engaged in long creative works will find ourselves leeching our souls to find images, returning to past work, to tricks, practicing our craft more than enlarging our art. How do you spell stymied? Stymied. Those of us who have stymied the workflow completely will find ourselves in lives that feel barren and devoid of interest, no matter how many meaningless things we have filled them with. What gives us true joy? That is the question to ask concerning luxury. And for each of us, the answer is a different thing. Making art begins with making hay while the sun is shining. It begins with getting into the now and enjoying our day. It begins with giving yourself some small treats and breaks. And for me, this passage really stood out because I think that it prompted a lot of things in my mind about these topics. This idea of, are you practicing your craft or are you becoming an artist? Are you just doing things again and again mundanely? And I think that I was stuck in that where, I mean, if you look at my work from 2020 or even 2019 to now, it all kind of looks the same, which is great. And that's kind of what you look for as an artist and what people want from an artist. But I think that that's what I was trying to do, was be an artist in that way. But it left me feeling kind of bored because I wasn't able to experiment and have fun the way that I could now that I'm doing this process and kind of doing it with like the lens of just having fun and trying new things. Our time gets filled no matter what we do, whether that's just filling it with chores and socializing, it will always be full, but we always have the same amount of hours, and it's up to us to choose what we do with those hours. We can say we're super busy, we can't do it, but a lot of the time you can take at least 15 minutes to yourself to make some art. And I think that that could be one of your luxuries if you're very busy. I now want to read my journal. My journal for this week was definitely spicy. I felt myself writing a lot. And I find that what was great about this is that I wrote so much, so I feel like I had a lot of great points to get out. So here's the first little entry I've had. After a week of fear, I am now easing out of those sensitive feelings. It feels good to be out of them. It feels good to be back in my own skin with optimism and direction. I'm making good time. This process has led me to figuring out a lot of the dreams that I've left behind. But it's funny because it's all the things that I wanted to get on my own are now finding me. It's not me going out and getting things, it's that the things that I want are coming to me. One of the most popular affirmations is, I don't chase, I attract, and I feel like I'm seeing that right now in real time. I feel like all the experimenting that I'm doing now is tapping into my future style. I'm really feeling positive, like I can do this. I can find a style that I really resonate with and that people will resonate with as well. In this abundance week, I'm finding that I'm feeling the way that I felt for a very long time, but it's resonating with me more than ever. I don't need to rush. I'm framing it as I have unlimited time right now. The beauty of an art career is that it can last for your whole life. It's not about the one piece you make, it's about a lifelong body of work. That is the true art. I have all my life to do it. Obviously, tomorrow is not guaranteed, but I want to create a life with strategies that make me conducive to creating as much as humanly possible in this lifetime. Not just creating, but exploring, imagining, getting out every message that's locked inside of me. I view myself as a vessel, I always have, and I hope to make as much art as I can with these messages. On that note, I'd like to introduce you to Joyce Wieland. This was a show that's on at the AGO in Toronto until January 5th, so you have a long time to go see it. But it really showed the depth of what an artist can create in a lifetime. And the most interesting part about this, for me at least, was that she is a Toronto-based artist, so it talked about where her studios were around Toronto. And just the depth of her work and the breadth of it really was so inspiring to me, and it really showed that you really don't need to narrow down and niche down to have a big show. She did assemblage, she did quilting, she did hand-drawn pencil drawings, she did a feature-length film and drew the cover for it. There is just so much to be seen in this exhibit, and it was just so inspiring to see how, like, a lifetime of work and what it looks like. And I really applaud the AGO for going out and finding a local artist, because a lot of places will just bring in the same top artists and it's getting so boring. Being in this space, I couldn't help but think about what my show might look like if I had one like this at the end of my life. So I finally got a new mat and I'm very happy with it. It's very thick compared to a lot of them. I'll let you guys know over the next couple weeks if I like it, but if you like this pink one, it's by Elan. So today I just want to focus on creating something. I'm very open to what we create, and my desk is so messy. So I feel like we have the right type of chaos going on that will hopefully hone in some creativity. I've also randomly been thinking a lot about the idea of a monopersonality. This idea that everyone is becoming the same due to social media and how I can escape it. People have an obsession with the order of the natural world. The world is chaos, and we want to organize it. It's no good. People are getting plastic surgery to all look the same, and I'm sure our personalities are all becoming the same. Even in politics now, there seems to be two very divided sides versus before, where people were a little bit more flexible and agreed with both sides in certain ways. I had this idea in this moment of having a TV surrounded by children with people above doing crazy things that you could never imagine. And these are the thoughts that I'm forming. Or is it my thoughts, or is it my algorithm coming to me with this? What my big idea was to maybe challenge myself and try to only watch media in a certain era for a month. For example, what if I only watched TV from the 80s, only news from the 80s, read only magazines from the 80s? Would I be thinking like someone from the 80s? Or have we already gone too far because I've indulged in all of the social media that we have today? Is anyone left with uniqueness? Now, this entry is quite interesting, and it's something that I've been thinking about a lot, so I'm going to try to read some books on this topic because it's something that I'm very interested in. I think I'll probably make an entire video about this idea, but for a short take right now is that this idea of everyone reading the same things and watching the same things is not new, and I think that that's what people are kind of a little bit confused about. Media has always had a one-angle lens. Now at least there's multiple angles, but it's also polarizing people against each other versus before it's like a Life magazine came out everyone read the same thing. So everyone was talking about the same thing. And we definitely have that still. And that's the power of mass media. But where do we fit into it? Can we have our own unique personality? I like to think yes. And I think that that comes from self-discovery, curiosity, and learning. For me, at least, it's right on. Mine has never been negative. It's usually funny jokes, crafting materials and tutorials, feminist ideologies, which are all things that I liked before social media even existed. So I feel good about that. That said, for newer generations, I feel like maybe they're taking social media and making that part of their personality. Maybe they're seeing this AI generated influencer and being like, oh, well, she's so pretty. She doesn't even exist, right? But now their idea of beauty and those types of standards are literally not even real people. So I think now what I'm debating is if I want to put like a white border and have this like white, or if I want to cut out around these trees and put in something in the background. The problem really is these hills, but I mean, we could even cut here and do something, or we keep it simple. I think for now, I'm gonna just keep looking and we'll see what happens. Another one I'm looking at but I haven't really figured out is I have these lettuce ladies. I wanna use them so bad. I have so many ideas for them. But then I just found this instead, or with, like what if we could do like, you know, team lettuce versus team meatheads, I think could be kind of interesting. I definitely think that it would have a good backing theme and those types of things. So maybe I'll look around and see if I can find more that look like this, for example. Okay, so I have this photo and I have this one from Collage Fest I got. I wonder if like cutting the lady's hand off at the top, cutting her out. I think the dog I want to get rid of. I think I want to use him for something else for sure though. But I think it could be like putting something down and like maybe someone's reaching for it. I'm just gonna get some glue off, but I wonder, I'm gonna cut this out and then we can see. I really like how this is popping. It's really nice. I think that even the feet could get tucked behind these trees potentially. I just want to make sure that like the line doesn't show through still for the cut. I think it's like perfect in hiding it. But yeah, I'm trying to ask myself whenever I'm doing stuff like this is asking myself questions like, who is she handing the thing off to? Like, is there something that she needs to give someone? I'm kind of thinking it would be funny to have like a bunch of small people and she has like a dollar bill or something, like she's like testing them or, you know, like bidding essentially for them. And it's kind of like the big man handing down the money is kind of how it would be in like a city setting or something like that. I also just want to say, like, looking at this ad, it's very well done. I feel like this color is so perfect in the background. It feels like surrealism for sure. But the only thing I don't like is the actual shoe that's being advertised. So I feel for the art director that had to put this together. So one thing I've been noticing is that my art print sales are absolutely tanking, and it might be because I'm becoming an educator type of person. So it's like people are looking for art supplies. So collage kits are doing very well, but my art prints and art specifically is not selling as well as I'd like it to. And I've been thinking a lot about how I can do that better. And maybe I need to show off the art prints a little bit. So we're going to take a second to take a look at those. Anyways, guys, that's all from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm so glad to be back after a little vacation off. I would love to hear your list of luxuries. I'd love to hear about how you implement those luxuries. And if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'm more than happy to answer. And I will see you next week. Bye, guys.